Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do a couples paint night. We're going to be having my husband Mark paint with me today.
Hey there, everybody.
He's making his public painting debut today, so hopefully you guys will all cheer him on. I think he's going to do great. It should be a really fun project today. I'm going to do it on 2 canvases that you can put side by side to make this little heart swan couple. So anyhow, we'll show you step by step how to do it, and I'll be helping Mark along the way too. So let's get started. Alrighty, so we're going to be using 12 by 12 inch canvases today. Mark's got one, I've got one. They're the Fredrix Pro Dixie canvases from Fredrix, so thank you to them for providing our canvases today. And we'll just need a couple brushes, and if you're doing this with your partner, you can share brushes back and forth, so you do one, they do one, but these are the ones we're going to be using today, and if you don't have these exact ones, that's fine. You can just use whatever you've got that's similar. I've got a number 12 Bright from the Princeton 6100 series, a number 6 Filbert, and a number 4 Filbert, and then a number 2 round in the 6100 and in the VelvetTouch line. So the number 2 is smaller in the VelvetTouch. You just want that a little small round for some of the eye details. And we're going to try to keep it real simple today so that this can be a really easy beginner project that you could do with friends or family or whatever, your loved one, for Valentine's Day. I think it'll be really fun. So, all right, let's go over our colors really quick. I've got carbon black, burnt umber, yellow oxide, cadmium red medium, ultramarine blue, and white. And really these are kind of just basic colors. You don't have to have these exact ones. I used a little bit of, I'm going to use a little bit of the yellow to, I think, tone the red so that it's a little bit more orange because their beaks are a little bit more kind of that orangey color. And then we're going to make a gray with the brown and the blue, but if you don't want to get fancy like that, you can just use black, white, and red. That'll still work. So choose whatever colors you've got. All right. So to start with, we're going to draw it. So Mark, go ahead and show your side of the canvas there. Oh, well, actually, yeah. There's our reference. You're going to have to put yours up on top. There we go. There's Mark's canvas. Yay! Very good. Okay, so we are going to try to draw this side by side. I guess one of the things we did need to do first off is to mark off where our canvases are going to meet. So to do that, I'm going to have Mark's canvas real quick, and we're going to match them up side by side so that when we draw them, their foreheads touch. So I'm just going to find the third mark. So that's just like if I cut these canvas into thirds these ways, 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts. There's our kind of cross parts right here. The male eye is right on the third. So, and it's just almost right up against that canvas. So it's going to be like right in here. And then the female eye is across from it and down just a little bit. So hers is going to be just about right in there. And then the foreheads are going to come up right like this. So they're touching. And I'm just going to draw just a little bit right there so that we have our starting points. And I'm going to hand Mark back his canvas. So he's got the same marks. And so now we know that our foreheads are going to touch on our little swans couple.
Okay, somebody has asked if they don't have that yellow, what yellow can they use without having to mix anything?
You could probably just use any yellow. We're just wanting a yellow that's going to give it a little bit of a yellow tone. You could add a little bit of brown to it to make it a little bit closer to that yellow oxide color. Before we go any farther, I'm going to spray my paints because we're going to need to keep them moist while we're waiting. So go ahead and spritz your canvas there. Mark's got his, yeah. Oh, you're not on camera, but that's all right. There we go. Okay, go ahead and, yeah, there, perfect. Perfect. This is harder than it looks to match up these stinking 2 cameras.
Because
we spent an hour this morning trying to get this.
Yeah, her video's on the left-hand side, mine's on the right, so it looks correctly, but she's on the right and I'm on the
Mark's
left.
over there. So it's really mind-boggling right now for me. I'm going to try to teach this in reverse on 2 canvases. Here we go.
Okay.
So, can you move my camera reference over? I can't see the edge of my canvas on the thing there, hon. Just, yeah, perfect. Thank you. Just want to make sure that I'm on cam. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to do first, Mark, is we're going to find the third again. So this time we're going to be doing the bottom third. So yeah, right in there. And that's going to be the back of our swans. And they're going to curve down and they're going to go off the canvas right about, oh, maybe 1.5 inches from the edge right here. So if you want to make a mark right there, and then start right on the third with your chalk and come up and then go right down to that mark right there. Perfect. All right, and there's our bodies. And then our necks are going to be coming up. So we're going to do up right here, almost straight up, and then start to curve it in. And we're going to go right up along that body. It's going to come up just a little bit and then narrow. So it's going to be a little bit thicker right here, and then it's going to narrow just a little bit right here and go up to about, not quite the halfway mark right here. Okay, then find your halfway, and then we're going to continue that neck from about that half mark on the back. Okay. So find the half mark on the back. Okay, then go on this side of it. So you're going to be on that side of it. Yep. And curve it this way. Yeah, yeah, right. Perfect. Okay, and then go up to about right, about 1 inch from the top. So just kind of make a big curve right here. Good. Okay, and then we're going to, we've got that mark from the forehead. So let's go ahead and just kind of continue that line all the way down and try to kind of make it meet up with it. It can be a little bit lumpy right here where that forehead, where the head's coming up around. So that's fine. If it's a little bit lumpy right there, then it should kind of straighten out and match around. Okay. Good. I can't tell because you're using a lighter chalk, but I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, good. All right, so then let's go ahead and do the inside of our, and just about stay kind of about equal distance away. It'll get a little bit narrower as it gets closer to the head. So kind of bring it around like that. And yours is the male, so you're gonna be a little bit thicker than mine if you want to. You can make it a little bit wider.
A little more thick-headed, is that what you're saying? Oh, okay.
And no comment. No comment. Okay, so they should, if we did this right, they should start to look like a heart right here, or at least half of a heart.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Okay, so then this part, once we get to about where this kind of curved around right here, we're going to make a line from the eye out this way. Okay, so that's that front part of the beak. That's kind of that red part. And then we're going to come almost straight down with this front beak, part of the beak, and then curve it in towards the body. Good. And then we're going to go straight back and kind of look at where this neck part is. And we're going to kind of angle it back up towards that, sort of do an invisible line. It's not quite a straight line, but it's close. So we're going to just kind of angle it back up towards the head. Okay. And then, yeah, mine's maybe must be a little bit wider. And then the male's beak is a little bit thicker than the female's too. So that's what I'm looking at too. And then find where this kind of came down around the eye right here, and just go kind of across from it and find that bottom part of the beak right there. Okay. So just kind of do a diagonal line there and then curve that line up toward the eye. Okay, perfect. And then just round out that bottom part of the jaw a little bit and meet it up with that neck. Good. Very good. There's our swans.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody, for this drawing tutorial.
So I think on your head, honey, I would make this part come up a little bit more narrow right here. So it looks like he's really got a pretty thick neck right there.
I kind of try to narrow it out a little bit right there.
So just bring it in, like in up here. Don't worry about this line yet. Just kind of bring it up in like that so that it's a little bit more narrow. Yeah, and then connect that line there to it. So just cut off that hole. Yeah, yep. And then you can just erase that under part there. Okay.
With water?
Little bit of water. Perfect. Okay, so let me have your canvas. I want to look at them side by side here in this better light because this camera's got a little bit better light on it. So you did it pretty light too. So just gonna set them side by side there and see how they, oh, that looks great. They make a nice heart. Very good. Okay, let's get painting. We're nailing it today. Sweet. This is gonna be awesome. All right, so I'm going to erase this line here and make this a little bit more narrow. I did. And I brought her breast up a little bit more right here.
Hey, I'm glad everybody's joined us today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this is fun.
I know. Different. And thank the YouTube gods that
YouTube's working.
It's working today.
Connection is working.
And the thing is, like, we did nothing different. I did not change one setting. We did not do anything different. I think it was a YouTube glitch. So, or I don't know. I have no idea. So whatever the reason, we weren't able to stream on Tuesday and Wednesday. We tried to do it on Wednesday too. We couldn't do it on either day this last week. So hopefully we're back to normal. If that ever happens again, what we did is we streamed it on Crowdcast. We have a Crowdcast page, so it worked fine on Crowdcast. And then we just uploaded the video. So if you saw that, that's what happened on Tuesday. So be sure if that happens again and you're watching, because we had about 60 people just sitting there waiting for the video to start on YouTube that we were trying to give the link in the chat and nobody saw it. So if that happens again, you can just check that chat window and we'll have the link to where we are streaming if it's like in a half an hour after it's supposed to be running. That's what happened. Okay. Why do you thumbs up? See? Oh, give it a thumbs up. Yeah. If this is like your favorite video ever and you want to see more of us doing the couple paints, be sure to give us a comment there and let us know, because this is our first time trying it this way. We've done it where I've painted where he's painted only and I've done his part of the technical stuff. But so Mark's having to do double duty today. Having to switch cameras and all that stuff and paint. So kudos to him.
Brush did you grab?
I'm grabbing the number 12 flat or bright. Yep, that one. Wet it down just a little bit and then run it against the side of the cup to get most of the extra water off. And then we're going to pick up our black. Okay.
Okay.
Get that black. And then we're going to start on the back here.
Load it up.
Yeah, and make sure that you have enough water on your in your paint, because we're using heavy body acrylics. So you may want to add a little bit of water. If you need to dip into the water, just dip. Show the palette cam here. Just dip the very tip of the brush into it. Don't dunk it all the way into the water. So just dip it so that it's touching this first half of the brush. And then that way it's picking up a little bit of water, but then it won't, if you get it up into this ferrule here, then it'll drip all over your palette and it'll be too much water. And if that happens, just do like that on your paper towel and it'll get off the extra water. But, all right, so let's go ahead. This is going to be the darkest part right here, is this neck. So I'm going to go ahead and do this part right here. And we're just going to paint that in with this brush. And when you get it to the edge here, just kind of use the side edge of your brush to draw your line. And then you can fill it in. It'd be a little bit easier. And then just smooth out any rough bubble bumps or anything that you have in your paint there. Go right off the edge of the canvas. Good. And I'm going to go part way up the neck. I'm not going to do the whole neck with this brush because it's a little bit big. There you go. Yeah, it's interesting that you can see more of your drawing when you actually get the paint on the canvas sometimes. So especially with this black, it'll be much more obvious where we want to make any changes. Are you comfortable with this brush? We can keep going with it. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going with it then. Let's go ahead and do the neck and just kind of follow along your line real carefully. And if it's uncomfortable for you, just...
If I was left-handed, this would be perfect, so I'm going to have to flip mine around.
I told you it'd be easier that way. No. You should... Okay.
No, because doing it this way...
Oh, pulling it towards you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like you are.
Right. Perfect. Look at you. I'm going to get a little bit more water here. You can see the difference in the HD camera that I'm using and the one that Mark's using, which is our old Sony cam that used to be the one that I used to film with. It's amazing how much brighter.
This is 720.
And this is 1080. And just the color depth, the depth of the black is so much different. It's crazy how much this is all Patreon, baby. Thank you to those who have supported us on Patreon because it made us be able to get that much more expensive. Yeah, just go ahead and keep on going around here. And don't worry about any of the chalk. If you've got some chalk lines that don't get covered up, we can wipe those off afterwards. So you paint what you think looks right, and then you can always erase the chalk later if needed. Like I think I drew my neck a little bit too thick, so I'm narrowing it down as I'm going here. And I may actually bring it up a little bit. How you doing, hon?
Good.
And like I said, if this is too big of a brush, you can always switch to the smaller Filbert, and it'll be a lot easier with the Filbert. This brush just covers better, so it'll be quicker, you know. So that's kind of the main benefit of it. Main benefit. I always do that. I start a sentence and then I don't finish it. The main what, Angela?
You waiting for me?
Yeah, I'm just watching. Try to keep your neck kind of the same width. So.
I'm trying.
No, I know.
You make it look very easy, as they say.
All right.
Okay, so this curve is very interesting for sure.
There you go. Yeah, it's not easy to do a curve with a flat brush. It's not. Yeah, that looks great, hon. Good. All right, so just at the face, we'll just kind of do some of it. We don't have to get it perfect. Just kind of get it as close as you can with this big old brush, and we'll go around the eye. Yeah, you may just have to dab it a little bit. It's fine. It doesn't, like I said, you don't have to do all of the edges. Just kind of get the main middle part filled in, and we'll do the edges with a different brush because it'll be easier to use the that big old brush. Okay, well don't do it if it's uncomfortable. If you're got it.
Where's my reference? Oh, there it is. Okay. And then I gotta do up here too. Huh?
Yeah, just up there.
Is my head in the shot? No.
Nope.
Okay.
It looks great. Very good.
Alright, and then up in here, around the eye.
Yeah, just a little bit. Doesn't, like I said, don't have to be perfect.
Okay.
And I definitely have chalk lines here that I will be erasing later. So it's better to just wait to the very end because you don't want to mess up your paint while it's fresh. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna add just a little bit of brown to our paint. So it's just a little bit different color. You can see how the back is like a little bit more of a brownish black.
So brown, you said?
Just a little bit of the burnt umber. And add some water because it'll be kind of sticky. It's been sitting. Good. Smart. I need to turn off this fan. It's drying out my paint. Come on. There we go.
That's showing my color.
Oh, good. Yep. There's Mark. He's got palette paper that he's using. And I wouldn't necessarily share a palette. Maybe, I mean, you probably could, but one of you would have to be reaching over the top of your canvas, and I don't like to have to do that. But it's, it's possible. It's fine, if that's what you want to do. If you only have one palette, thing, you can share or hand it back and forth or whatever you need to do. All right, so let's go ahead and use this brownish black on the body here. We're just going to fill it all in with this. Should be basically just a little bit lighter, a little bit more different tone. We just want to be able to see the difference right in here. This is the main area that we're worried about, is right in here. And I always go along in the direction that those feathers are growing. I didn't mention that on the neck, but like when you're doing the neck, follow the direction that those feathers would be growing. So I wouldn't fill it in across this way. We're always kind of filling it in with the direction of the feather growth. So the feathers are growing this way, out this way, so I would sweep all of our brush strokes with the feathers. That's probably because your paint either is too thin right there, so you may have a little bit of water, too much water mixed in. Just get a little bit thicker paint and it should cover that spot. Shouldn't be dry yet, so.
No, it's not dry, it's just really watered.
Yeah. Okay. You need more brown? Okay. Okay. It's a very subtle difference. It's not going to make a huge difference. Okay. Add some water, hon, to your paint. Yeah, just get a little bit of water and add it. And get a little bit thicker paint on, a little bit more paint on your brush.
Okay.
Load it up a little bit thicker. When you're trying to cover these bigger areas, you can kind of load it up a little bit thicker. Yeah, there you go. That'll fill it in for you. Go with the flow of the feathers. Yep, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, look at that.
Nicely done.
All right.
Very good. Oh, they're so cute.
I'm going to put mine right up against the edge of my camera. There you go.
They're kissing. So cute. I love it.
Washing this out.
Yep, go ahead and wash that out. Now let's work on the beak. We'll let all of this black dry really well. If you don't, one thing I do before we go any farther, if you look at your canvas and you see any of these little white spots, see how there's one right there, there's some here. What you can do is just get a little bit of water, watered down black. So just make sure that the paint's dry underneath. Don't do this if it's wet still. Did you just lift off your, you sure did. Okay.
The #1 rule of Paint Club. Let the paint dry.
So I only got in a couple of places here. You can do it on the neck, but I wouldn't do it on the body, obviously. I should have mentioned that to you. Mine's dry down here, though. I can do it.
It's ruined.
It's not ruined. That's fine. So what you do for that, you can either do two things. You can let it dry completely or just get some thick paint. Just pick up some thick black and just go over that spot with the thick paint. Smooth it out. It should stick right over the top. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So clean that out. So what the watered down black does is it just gets down into the pores where the, oops, I just scratched that whole thing off right there. It gets down into the pores of the canvas where the paint didn't penetrate. And it just makes it a little bit easier to, goodness gracious, I keep touching it in places. All right, stop touching it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get this #2 round, the larger green one. Boy, my nails are bad today. And we're going to get some of that black, add some water to it if you need to. I'm probably going to add a little bit. With a round brush, you need to add a little bit more water than you would with a flat. They just work a little bit better if they're a little bit more damp, or the paint's a little bit more wet, or fluid, I should say. All right, so here we're gonna, you're
making a mess.
I know I am.
So
I dripped onto my canvas.
Who's teaching who here?
I know. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill in the rest of our face with the black here.
Okay.
So use this smaller brush and you can get into all these little spots here and go around that eye and just leave a little bit of the little round circle for the eye. It's kind of an oval shape, honestly. It kind of ovals down into the beak, but I'm going to go right up against that edge. We painted the background of our canvases white too before the show, so I should have mentioned that beforehand.
We, as in Angela.
Yes. But you could totally do this with the color too. I think it'd be really pretty, and you could do you could blend from one color to another, like so you could have the set side by side and kind of blend so that maybe there's a color in the middle that kind of goes out and darkens from the inside out. You know, there's all kinds of different things you can do. I didn't get super fancy with the background on this one just because I knew, you know, we wanted to make the focus be the swans, but there's all kinds of fun things you could do with the background too. Let's say. So. You good?
Yeah, I think so.
My cheek right here comes out right here, kind of far back, and then goes straight back toward the beak here. And then it kind of comes up underneath the beak just a little bit right here. So it kind of comes to almost that triangle, and then it's got a little bit of a, okay, I'm not getting too fancy. Let's stop doing that, Ange. Okay, we're good?
Yeah, this next little flat right here or something.
You're off camera there, babe.
I need to figure out how to get his neck a little bit more rounder right in here.
Let me see. You can do,
bottomed out.
Oh, okay.
Fine, so I'm just trying to get it
Round it out a little bit.
curve there. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. Well, and if you look at the reference photo, they're not exactly perfectly, round. They're a little bit lumpy. There's feathers there that we're dealing with. And we're going to kind of rough up those edges too when we do our feather detail on top. So, okay, so let's go ahead and clean that brush out, and then we're going to use it for the beaks. So let's get the red. I'm just going to add a lot of water to that red again.
With the same brush?
Same brush.
Okay, I'm reading.
Red.
Water.
A little bit of water. Just to get it to kind of a smooth texture. Just good, smooth consistency.
Okay.
And then I'm not going to do anything to it. I think I'm just going to use it straight. And I'm going to fill in the eye. And the eye connects down to the beak, and go ahead and just fill in that whole thing.
Sure, not a lot of talking while we're doing this.
I know, we're thinking. Just make sure you're smoothing it out as you're painting, too.
Okay.
I know, it's hard to talk when you're painting, isn't it?
Well, I don't have a mic right on my mouth, so.
Huh?
I don't have a mic right here, though. So I hope everybody's doing great today. Thank you for joining us. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good old stuff.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. I know there's a lot of other things out there you could be doing. So I'm always honored that you guys take the time to hang out with us. A little bit of a hump right here on her beak. It goes up and back down. I'll try not to get too fancy with it though. Okay, good. Okay, probably could make hers a little bit longer. Not sure. Put yours right up against mine there again. Hold it up a little bit higher so they're even sized. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there you go.
This is difficult.
Square it up.
I'm trying.
Your back end, the back end of it's tilted. Bring your left hand up. Up, no, up towards the camera. Up towards the camera.
Oh, okay. This is great TV.
Okay. Let me just have it.
He's much fatter mouthed.
That's what I'm trying to see. We need to make an adjustment. So that's what we need to do now. Okay. So I would just elongate his beak out just a little bit. Just bring it down to about right here.
Okay.
It's a little bit more pointy. You make sure it's wet.
It is.
Okay.
It's even more right now. It's damp.
Okay. So the bottom is straight and then the top is going to kind of angle up and around just a little bit. So round that tip right here off a little bit. Just to the very tip, not all the way up to the beak. And you rounded it up here, like just right here. Just kind of round that.
And now I'm making a mess.
That's okay. Good.
Okay. Sort of.
Yeah, just right at the tip right here, just kind of almost square it off, you know. I know, I'm just telling you.
Like that?
Yeah, closer. Maybe a little bit more exaggerated. Bring it up.
What do you mean by
Bring it out to right about, you know, here. Like you've got it kind of coming almost straight right here. Just bring it out just a little bit more right at the tip. So it's...
Like more up this way?
Yeah, let me show you on your picture. This curve right here. See that?
Okay. So the front of the beak has to be...
More rounded. It's got a little bit of a lump right there at the tip.
It's got to go up and then
Mm-hmm.
go up in this way.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit more. It's almost halfway up the beak, so you see kind of how much, or it's really the bottom third. So there's like a whole section on that bottom third where it rounds around. Yep. Okay. You happy?
Yeah.
All right. Do it. All right. Clean that out. Now this, if it's still wet, we can let it dry. If it's had a little bit of time to dry, we can add a little bit of red to our black. So just get a little bit of black over here, add a little bit of red to it, so it's like a dark red, and then we're going to use that at the bottom of our beak and just go along that bottom. And if it's too dark, we can add a little bit of more red, but just kind of keep it pretty thin.
Yeah, we're putting it on the bottom edge.
Bottom edge. Mm-hmm. And kind of blend it into beak. Just add a little bit of the regular red to kind of smooth it in. And then I'm going to use this also in the eye area and around the front of where the black feathers meet the beak. Just a little bit. Darken that up. You can show yours now.
Oh, I'm not?
Mm-mm. There you go. All right, so right here, this line right here, just grab some red. Kind of wipe the black out of your brush. Get a little bit of water. Touch your paper towel to get extra off, and then get some red. While that black is still wet, just go right along that edge, just on the inside of it with fresh red, and then go over the top of it and blend that edge just a little bit. So it'll blend it out a little bit and soften up the edge between the black and the red. Yeah, there you go. Nope, you're done. Mm-hmm. Good. And if you've got too much black on there, just wipe your brush off and add more red. And just keep adding red until that black starts to kind of tone down. And if, yeah. Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, now get the black, straight black, and we're going to come right along that, just inside that edge, probably maybe a 1/4 inch from the bottom, and do a line down for the beak. And I stopped right about halfway, so in our picture, you're not really seeing the bottom
Right along the
seam.
edge.
Kind of right along the edge, just inside. See that?
About halfway down.
And it actually curves a little bit too, so you can kind of curve it if you want to, just slightly. It almost looks like they're smiling a little bit. Yeah. Start where you want the line the thickest though. Start it up here and pull down and then lift it right about here. You don't want it to go all the way down. It's just, there's just a little bit of a line right where it starts.
He's looking very geometrical. Very straight lines.
It's all right. Are you no, you didn't hear what I was saying. Just inside, not on the edge.
Oh. Well, now.
Mark's not
now what
listening.
do I do?
Wipe it off if you can get it off. I don't know if it's too wet still. You don't want to wipe the whole beak off, but
No, that's not happening.
okay. Well, get a little bit of the red, then just go over it with the reddish color. Mm-hmm.
Start over again.
Yep. You kind of widened out his beak there too, didn't it?
That's okay.
We can always go over it with white. You got some white there. You could cover over it with white. Because it should.
Inside edge.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Oh, okay, because like his
You're drawing the mouth. Yep, that's it.
Oh, see, now that makes sense.
Okay.
If I knew what drawing his lower beak.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, now get a little bit more of that black, a little bit of the red in it.
Black
Yeah.
and red.
Uh-huh. Really kind of more of the red than the black, just a little bit of the black. Pretty much similar to the color that we first split up here. And we're going to do our nostrils, and they're right, kind of almost right smack dab in the middle, a little bit more towards the outer edge of the beak. So right in here, we're just going to kind of set it down and pull and lift. And hit and point it towards the eye almost, or yeah.
So
Set it down,
set it down,
and pull and lift.
set it down, pull it.
Yep, perfect. Good. All right, and then the male beak has a white spot on the tip of it, so you're going to get your white and mix a little bit of that blackish red with it. So kind of a whitish red color. And you're going to paint it just like right at the tip of the beak. I'll do mine with a little bit more of a, I don't see it on the female really, so I'm not going to do hers, but it's like right in here.
What am I doing?
See on his beak, on the picture, there's a white spot on his beak. Are you seeing? Oh, see, I've got the male in my picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That I flipped it, so there, that right there.
Give me my picture.
Well, okay,
Ah.
I flipped the reference photo. So.
Oh, that makes more sense of a white spot.
Sorry.
It's okay. No, I need a little more light here.
And I'm gonna just give mine a second coat of red while you're doing that.
So about here. Oh, that's a muddy mess.
What is?
My color.
Let me see. That's fine. Okay, wipe it off of your paper towel if you need to. Okay, flatten out your brush too. Like, You can use these brushes, like these round brushes, like a flat. So in this case, you kind of want it to be more flat. So just press it down real hard and smush it out so that it kind of flattens out. And then you can paint that area. Nice. All right, and then blend out the edges just a little bit with some red. So just get a little bit of red and kind of go on either side of it with that red to kind of blend it out slightly. Blend it in. The very tip of his beak is almost all kind of that white color. So blend that white in. Get more white if you need to. Yeah, get a little bit more white and just put it over the top of that. Start in the white area and pull it down into the red. There you go. Good. All right, and then do the same thing at the top part of it, like top edge. In the other direction, just kind of blend it in a little bit. Good. All right, now we're going to grab the yellow and that red.
Yellow and red.
Mostly yellow, but just a little bit of the red, because the yellow is not going to tint as much. The red's a darker color. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of white to it too to make it a little bit, make sure it really shows up. So we're just tinting it a little bit. And we're going to use it above the nose, the nostril, right in here. So we're just going to add some of this color right here, a little highlight on that part of the beak.
Is that the right color there?
Oh, that's a little bit light. Just add more yellow. Just more yellow. Just take that color. Yeah, you don't have to add it right. Make a new spot. You don't have to
try to use that
tint the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
now
it's
where
just
am I going with this?
just right here, right above that mark that we made. We're gonna just highlight it with a little bit of yellow. I brought that up too much. What?
Oh, I'm just loving my painting.
I can't see it because you got it off camera.
That's
there.
okay. Oh, I do? Oh, let's try to do.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, that's good. All right, and so then let's use this color also on the top half of the smile on the beak.
Okay.
Yep. Just along that edge, just to highlight it a little bit. Good. And then a little bit right here. Coming down from the eye, that little curve right there. And a little bit right here at the top of the beak. And if it's too obvious, you can add a little bit of red to it to tone it down. So like because you've got such a dark, since you've got such a dark area right here, honey, I would add a little bit of red to it right there. Your bottom half of your beak is almost black, so I would paint that in red so it's not black. It's too dark.
This lower one here?
Yeah, that lower jaw looks black. It needs to be a little bit lighter. It looks from here. It does. Is it black? And yeah, it's black.
Right. So what color am I doing with that? I gotta remove the yellow.
No, it's fine. I was gonna. How did that end up being black, honey? What happened? I mean, how did that get solid black back there? I thought, okay. Wow. We went off the rails pretty hard right there. Okay, what we're going to do is damage control. We're going to paint that area white. So go over the top of that.
So I need to wash out this brush.
Uh-huh. And get some thick white. Don't really wet it down. Yes. And just form up that. He should have a chin Right now he's going straight from, his beak is bigger than he's got no chin.
Yeah.
So give him a little bit of a chin and then just go over that whole area almost all the way up to the yellow line with white. There you go. Perfect. And if it doesn't cover in one coat, we can do a couple coats. Just make sure it looks smooth. And then, you know, look at your shape of your beak and make sure we're shaping it up right. But that looks better. Much better. Okay. Okay. I don't hate that yellow line, so I think...
I'm liking it.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave it. I think it's fine. As long as he's got a mouth, we're good. We're good. Did you not do a black line?
Yeah,
I just paint over. Did you paint the yellow
but
line over the?
Remember, I did the black on the bottom first.
I know.
Before I separated out the
But
mouth.
did you put the yellow over the top of your black line? On top of it?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, you were supposed to do it above it, not on top of it.
I did. It's between the nose and the black line. I put the yellow. I put between the nose and the black line. I put a yellow stripe.
No. It was supposed to be where your mouth line is. You're supposed to have a yellow stripe along the front edge of that.
Okay.
Because you got no mouth right now.
I know. I painted over it with white.
Okay. Oh, that whole section was your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need to put a mouth in him. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of black.
Okay.
And just do it on the inside of the yellow instead of the out. Like, so the yellow is going to be over here. Just need to find a... Here.
Teacher, help me.
He needs a mouth. So we're going to start his mouth right here. And just bring it down to about right here. Okay, and then, yeah, let's go over the top of that yellow line with red.
So paint the yellow line red?
Yes.
First?
Yes, go ahead and do that. And since it's going over black, it shouldn't be, it'll still be dark. So if it doesn't blend into the rest of the painting, just kind of blend the red into the black so it doesn't look like a red line on top of all that. You want to blend it in. So yeah, just kind of, there you go.
Okay.
Good, much better. Okay, now pick a spot about a 1/4 inch away from the edge in and do a line along the inside to make the mouth.
Okay.
Don't go all the way down, just go about halfway down.
With black.
With black.
Just black.
Yes. Not along the outside edge.
But I'm going to go right over where I just painted red.
It's fine. It's not going to matter.
It's not going to, okay.
It's still wet, so it'll cover.
And then down here, and then do this. Like that?
Yep. Perfect. You did it. All right.
Yes.
Let's just call that good. I'm not going to.
I'm going to have to go back over that with white again in the bottom.
Okay. And let's bring that black, grab the black and round out the chin a little bit because it looks a little squared off right now. So just kind of round off, you know, and match it up into the beak a little bit. This line here from the eye in should kind of curve around. So just kind of.
This part here?
Yeah, just.
Okay.
Well, it kind of comes straight to the mouth. So there is a little bit of a V shape right here, but then it kind of curves around right here too. So just make sure. Are you following me right here? There's a V right here.
Okay.
So curve it to that point and then curve it back this way and just make sure that this is kind of rounded out right there.
All right. Let's get that black.
Yep. We're being real nitpicky. You don't have to. Don't. No stress. Just.
Oh, there's stress.
We're good. You're doing great. You're doing really good, honey. Honestly. Just had some miscommunication there about the beak. Good. All right. So let's go ahead and use this black. Let's get the smaller round. So get this one here.
Which is a what?
The number 2 round. That's a little bitty one. And let's really, let's put some water out. Let's get a little bit of black. We're going to thin out this. And I'm gonna put a drop of glazing liquid in here. If you're using craft paint, you don't have to worry about adding glazing liquid. I'm gonna hand this to you, honey, and you put a drop of glazing liquid into that.
Into that puddle? Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just mix it in so that it sticks real well. Okay. And we're going to try to do a really thin line just on the inside, just to outline this eye, and just kind of do a like a almond shape eye. So and I'm not going all the way to the edge, so I'm leaving just a little bit of that red on the outside, and I'm doing a little bit of a black line, just here, and I've got a little bit of a point right here. This part back here is going to be kind of rounded, but I'm going to do a little round line right here, and just a little slight point right out this way. And then right where that meets, I'm going to get a little bit of that red, and I'm just going to dab right here to darken that up right there.
So I'm going to paint in this eye.
Leave a little bit of the red outside. I know. Just get as close as you can. It's going to be a light gray blue. It doesn't, or black. It doesn't have to be perfectly black. And if you need to, you can make your eye a little bit bigger. Like if you painted over too much of your eye, your eye looks a little small maybe. Let me look. Yeah, your eye's a little small. So go ahead and get a little bit of red and go around the outside here and kind of widen it out a little bit. Make sure it's wide. Just get straight red, don't add. Yeah, just round out that eye a little bit so it's a little bit bigger. Just a little bit, got a little small, got too much black over the top of it.
Yeah, he looks really upset.
Look at the picture and see how big it is in the picture. That's how big you need it. They do look a little pissed off. They're.
What did you say?
They look a little pissed off in the picture. The swans just generally kind of do, though. Good job, hon. Let me see. I think we could go, yeah, I think that's fine. It's close.
I think it's good.
All right. Now let's use the back end of the brush and dip into the black. And in fact, I'm going to put some fluid black out because it'll make it easier for us. So here, you dab a little bit of this fluid black. It's just a thinned out. That's fine if it's dry. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, use a brush that doesn't have a super pointy tip. So kind of find a brush. Probably, let's try the number 6 Filbert here. Let me see how big of a dot it makes. It might be too big. Let's try the 4 Filbert. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the fluid paint's just going to make an easier dot for you. You can still use the thicker heavy body paint if you don't have a fluid black. But dab it once on your palette, and then you're just going to take it over and try to get right in the middle of that little area right there.
My eye circle is way too small.
And make a dot. And mine was too. My dot was too big. Let me do this. Yeah, we'll use a smaller brush. So let's use the number 2. We'll see. That's better.
I gotta figure out which way I'm going here.
Here you go. No, your dot needs to be much bigger, honey. Let me see. Yeah, it's way too small. Look at the picture.
Yeah, but then it's gonna be the whole thing. All right. I don't trust the teacher. Here we go.
Yep, that's better.
Okay.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's pretty much their faces. Let's work on the big feathers and we'll be done.
That was intense. Wow. Let's get some thumbs up for that, baby.
I love it. Okay. So let's, I'm now since I know my paint is dry here, I'm going to use a wet paper towel and wipe off my chalk. So if you've got any chalk lines that you still see, go ahead and wipe those off now. And make sure that you really use a lot of water on here because if they're colored chalk, they're going to get onto your, blend into your white paint. So just make sure you're really using a lot and wiping it off good.
So what are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are going to be doing a Yellowstone, I think. Is it Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be really pretty landscape. That's going to be for the $5 and up patrons. So that's on Crowdcast tomorrow afternoon. So if you're a patron, there's a schedule. I've got it on Instagram. I've got it on my Patreon page. I've got it on Facebook page. So I post it at the beginning of the month every month. And what did I get on here? I must have touched my dirty rag on there. So the link is in that schedule, but it's on Crowdcast. Oh, what I touched.
Your eye?
Oh, I touched my eye while it was wet. Dang it. All right, I'm gonna.
As long as you didn't just cut jalapenos, you should be okay. Touching your eye.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna have to kind of correct.
I'm
it
sorry
real
for
quick.
ignoring everybody in chat today, but I'm busy doing other things.
Yeah. I know.
Great job, fantastic job, lots of thumbs up.
Oh, good. How many we've got watching today?
Right now, there's 316, 318. Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Sorry, I'm having to fix my boo-boo there because I smeared it all over everything.
I can paint over my water spots that I got out here too.
Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the number 4 Filbert. I'm going to wet it down.
No, that's number 2. Number 4. Got it. It's
Okay.
wet.
Go ahead and show my palette just for a minute. And we'll use some of that. Did you say you need more brown? Or no, you're good?
It's kind of lumpy. How much am I going to need?
Not a whole lot.
It should be okay.
Okay, so we're going to mix that and mix blue into it, the Ultramarine Blue. Make it dark gray.
Brown.
And kind of equal parts, a little bit more blue maybe, so it's a little bit more of a blue-gray. And then we'll add a little bit of white to it, and it'll turn it gray.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my brush off mostly. And I'm going to start with black. I'm going to get black on my brush. Load it all the way through. Good.
Do I need white?
No, that's good enough.
That's good?
I think so. You can add it. You can always add it later.
Okay.
Need to. Okay, so clean that out of your brush.
Yeah, I don't have a mic right near my mouth, so that's why you can't always hear me. Okay.
Grab the black. Load your paint up brush with black.
Okay.
Add water if you need to thin it out. Because I know let's spray our canvases just to make sure that spray that gray that we just mixed. So keep it wet. Good.
Like the sound effects.
I like it.
Okay. I got lots of black in my brush right now.
Okay, we'll kind of press down and squeegee it off if you need to kind of twist it to offload some paint if you need to get less on there. And then run the tip of it through that light gray. So there's just a little bit of that light gray on the tip. Okay, so we're going to start at the, turn it and start at the tip of the swan. And I'm going to just start doing small brush strokes overlapping each other. So kind of using, I'm not using the full flat edge. I'm kind of turning it just a little bit, and I'm gonna go along the top edge and just kind of go all the way on down the neck. About halfway. So we're just highlighting the top of this.
Wow.
We're leaving the bottom part kind of dark. What happened?
No, I can't see what I'm doing.
Okay, then add a little bit of white to your gray so that it's a little,
Well,
it's
that's
noticeable.
light.
Oh, it's light. Yeah, it's hard painting black.
I'm just doing like kind of
2 or 3 brush strokes in, and then kind of about halfway into the bird. So we're just kind of adding a little bit of a highlight on our necks of our swans. And then I'm going to kind of go in with a little bit darker color and good. And just kind of do this top half. It doesn't have to be all the way down. Just kind of, because this, it kind of, the light's hidden from here, so it's hitting the top part of it, and then it's also hitting right here. So this part is kind of more in shadow.
okay.
So just kind of go all the way up to and around right here. So you can see, and do the brush strokes with the curve, so they're kind of coming around that corner. Like that.
I definitely do not have enough.
Maybe a little bit more white on yours, huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need more. Oh yeah, that's better.
Good. Yeah, that looks great.
Okay.
Good. Do a little bit, maybe a little bit brighter right on the head there. I'm going to get a little bit more white and just do a little bit brighter right here. Kind of where they touch. A little bit shorter brush strokes there, hon.
Mm-hmm.
So go get some black and just break that up a little bit with some little bit black brush strokes to kind of. I'm going to tone mine down too. There you go. Better. Okay, now let's use this again. And I really, honestly, I think I'm just going to use the white because that gray didn't really matter that much. It's not making that much of a difference. So I'm just mixing that black with a little bit of gray, and I'm going to do the same thing coming up from the chest. Yep. And if you just kind of do just a short brush stroke like this.
So are you on the
just kind of setting
neck, right?
I'm just on this part. Oh, sorry, I was off camera. So set my brush down and just flick it towards the I'm trying to, yeah. And then kind of turning it sideways a little bit. So right about here is where it's gonna stop. Good. All right. And then we can kind of get a little bit of a medium color to do sort of in between if you need to tone it, you know, blend them in a little bit so that it's not just bright feathers up against black. So kind of a mid color to transition there. That looks really good, huh? Great. Okay, so now let's clean that out. We're going to get the bigger filbert. Oh, that's what happened. I touched my filbert has a big old dab of black. That's where my eye went to. It's got dried paint in it. I need to
we're using this thing.
Use this red around my eye here real quick. What?
We're using the big brush.
Yes, the big, this one, the big filbert.
No, not this one.
If I had two of the bigger ones, I probably,
six?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing. So go ahead and load up with black. And then we're gonna mix a little bit of lighter gray here to use on the tip of it. And we're going to start from the back here, and we're going to do some bigger feathers. So these feathers are maybe like a couple brush strokes together. And kind of...
Are his feathers going this way?
They're going this way. So they're going to...
oh, okay.
See how they're overlapping? So the rounded edge is back here. So you're gonna set your brush down and kind of just flick it towards the center. And you can do kind of two of them together to get that rounded shape.
I don't have enough gray, and I just got that brush.
Maybe 3 brush strokes to get the... And then some of them are gonna be stacked over the top of each other like this, hun. So some of them are going to be stacked this way, and some of them are going to be a little bit offset with 2 here and 1 here. So it doesn't look like they really have a whole lot of rhyme or reason, but just kind of we want them to be turning a little bit. So once you get to about right here, they're going to be going in this direction. These ones are going to be coming down this way, and then these ones are coming almost straight right here. So these ones are kind of coming straight, and these ones are curving just a little bit. And I'm just going to set my brush down and kind of do just the very tips of these, just barely setting it down and kind of pulling a little bit to create some feathers. But if I've got enough paint loaded on here, you shouldn't have to set it down too hard. So just touch the very tip and kind of keep your brush upright so that it's not laying too flat.
Okay.
Keep it upright and just kind of barely touch the tip and kind of flick it towards where you want that paint to go off. And just barely touching the tip of it. Okay.
You make it look super duper easy.
Your paint's a little too thick. That's the problem.
Flick it.
Get a little bit more water. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like that?
Yeah.
And then just flick it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that was a bad...
Okay, you got too much paint on your brush. So just wipe your... Yeah. Okay. You're pulling. You think you're flicking, but you're not. You're doing like this. Okay. You're moving your arm. Just torque the tip of this way. Just tilting it. You're basically just tilting your brush. No, don't pull it. Don't do this. Just the tip of the brush. This should not move. Like your hand should not move. Okay. Station your hand over the top.
Okay. And
just flick the tip of the...
Right, that's a talent that I don't have right now.
Here, let me come over there. First of all, you need to turn it so that it's going in the direction that you need it to go. And then hold it upright like this. Set it down. No, you don't. You're pulling it too much. Just barely. Just the tiniest little touch. See that? I mean, barely. No, tiny.
I don't know how you guys paint. This is impossible.
It's not good. No, those are good though. Come on, keep on. I'm just gonna hold the end of it and just give you the... Can you feel the difference? Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting it. Good.
That was like Ghost.
So, go back over the top of the first ones that you did there with just a little bit of black. Just kind of, touch it. But I did mine too thick too. So, just kind of do the same thing, but just kind of touch it up over the top, and then you can always kind of go back over it with the thinner. And every now and then get a little bit of water because your paint's going to start to get thick. Press your brush nice and flat too. That's another thing I forgot to mention. So when you load it, make sure that you're really pressing it flat. That'll help a lot. Press it nice and flat. Set it. Right, and then combine some of them, hun, so that they're a little bit bigger back here. These ones are kind of large, so do like 2 or 3 of them next to one another, kind of almost connecting.
I'm pretty much done with the back.
Okay.
Wow, that is special.
Let me see.
Okay.
That's not bad.
That's not too bad.
You've got them going in the right direction.
I like the neck better. I'm definitely more happy with the neck.
You were happier with the... Yeah. Well, you kind of got happy going on before I realized you were having trouble with it, so you kind of just kept on going instead of stopping.
Party. Are we done yet?
Rule number 1, if you are having trouble, don't keep doing what you're doing. Just stop and get help.
What if you do it faster?
No.
That doesn't make it
What was
better.
that motivational, demotivational poster you have?
If you honestly believe that you can make up for your lack of skill by doubling effort, there's no effort to what you can't do.
No limit to what you can't do. If you honestly believe
that you can make up for your lack of skill by doubling your effort, there's no end to what you can't do.
Love it. Oh, Marky. He's got that in his office, so yeah. This is where we're working with.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
So, are we done yet? Isn't this like a paint and sip? kind of thing here.
We're just about done. This is the last step, really. So I've got to get mine done here. And make sure right here that you're making a nice light area right above where these two meet. So this area here should be nice and light right here, right up against that neck, along that line. Small brush strokes.
Mm-hmm.
And these ones are kind of almost in a line.
It is very difficult to not do a very geometrical shape. You know, I'm a kind of an engineer type of person, so having straight lines and everything lining up is like makes sense to my brain, and
right.
Spreading them out in this random feather pattern is much more difficult. For sure.
Keeping it random because your brain wants to make a pattern out of it.
Because I got like stripes going on right now, feathers, instead of just real random spots.
Okay.
This is great. I'm liking this.
Yeah, you did good. And then we can go back through and get a little bit more of the lighter, a little bit more white, and make it a little bit lighter gray, and then just pick a few of these feathers.
My back hurts.
Yours needs to have right in here, hon. This line needs to be brighter. So just do some brighter feathers right along that edge there. I'm gonna do it on mine too. Kind of find the feathers you've already done and kind of just add a little bit of a brighter highlight to some of those. Good. Good.
Look at that, huh?
Not bad, honey.
Not too shabby.
No, especially for somebody who never paints. I mean, literally never. I think this may be the second or third time you've painted.
Yeah.
In years.
Yeah. Second time the row house is was the last time I painted.
Yeah. Not too shabby. Well, I'm impressed. What do you need?
I think it's the universe saying I'm done if I run out of paint, right?
What's going on with his chin right here? He's got a weird random something.
Yeah, the black kind of went over, so I got to touch that up with some white.
Okay. That looks pretty darn good, honey.
So that's my palette.
Not bad.
Not too bad.
No.
Oops, we'll go that way.
Not bad at all.
And there's Angela.
See? I have a lot more black spread out everywhere.
So...
They're so cute. Here, let me have yours and I'll put them on this camera together. See them side by side. There we go. Take that picture off if you can.
I gotta click something. Hold on.
There we go. There they are. Aw, they're cute. I love it.
Man, that was pretty fun.
And like I said, you could do something fun with the background if you wanted to, make it a little bit more non-black and white, just like a color or something, anything. But yeah, not too shabby. I think that Mark probably could use a second coat on his beak here. You can see some of the, the thing going through and then touching up that. And I think you're good to go, hon. You've got a little bit of area down here that didn't get covered with black too. Get some.
I was trying to keep up with the teacher.
Okay.
There's no pause button.
But, I mean, other than that, I think it looks really darn good.
Well,
really
thanks.
good.
I have a pretty good teacher.
I told you could do it.
Yeah. Now, next time you paint, you have to run video and audio while painting. So just give you a heads up.
I used to do that, so don't. I used to.
Yeah.
I did that for years before you started helping me. So.
But so we got that, and then so we got our bonus video.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
That's for the Patreon people.
Yes.
$5 and up.
Yes.
And the traceable for these will be available
probably later on today. I'll do it right now after the show, and we'll get it up for you guys. And that'll be available for $2 on Patreon. They're $2 a month for unlimited downloads, so there's
3 years
over
worth.
300 traceable easily,
Nice.
if not more, on there for you for $2. Not too bad. And we will be back on Tuesday. Next Saturday, we've got a koala bear. And it's not a bear. I know that. I call it
a koala.
A koala. And then the following Saturday, the 22nd, I'm going to be out of town. So we won't have a video that day. It's scheduled right now. I'm going to have to remove that video from YouTube schedule. We'll still do that painting, but we just won't do it this month. So I have to go to a funeral. My godmother died, so we're going to Palm Springs, California for the first time since my other grandmother died the last time I went.
Died,
So, yeah, it's been a long time since I've been there. It's over 20-something years. The boys were very little. So, anyhow, but that'll be in a couple weeks. So, next week we'll be on regular schedule.
I didn't get to drink my espresso.
I know. I didn't drink my tea either. So... Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and like I said, you could do this
Oh yeah, show the whole thing here was to not only show those who don't paint that they can do it, so to encourage your significant others to join you with a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
But also, I think it also helped Angela see some of the things like when I was messing up with the beak there that I wasn't following along well. So
yeah.
And knew
it helps me
how to correct it up.
Exactly. Yeah, it helps me to see kind of how to slow down and teach better. So I enjoy getting to do this, and hopefully we'll do it more often. If you guys liked it, give us a comment down there and let us know that you want to see more like this.
And I think we'll stay married, huh?
I think so.
Okay, that was good.
Everything's good. I know somebody made a comment about our last video because we were all super tense. She was like, it sounded like we were interrupting something or something. I can't remember what she said. I was like, yeah, we were a little tense. We weren't on our best behavior. Yeah,
when YouTube failed and we had to switch over, it was just such a
neither one of us was really happy. So, yeah. But no, everything's good.
Yeah. Shout out to all the unusual suspects. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys
Love your support.
Super fun.
And I can't wait till Tuesday when I can chat again only and not worry about this.
Not work. Not have to paint. Yes. All right, guys. Great. Thank you so much for watching with us today. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye.